on Xbox, what is the best quality steering wheel? Well, I've got, I think, possibly the 3 best options here in the world, which are the brand new Moza R3, which is actually the Xbox ES steering wheel, I think is the strict name. We've got the Fanatec WRC rim, as you can see, that's also Xbox. And we've got the McLaren GT3 V2 rim, that again, you can see is also an Xbox rim. So these rims, the way it works with Microsoft is that the security chip for Xbox is in the wheel rim itself. So you can see they all have the buttons on here. Now you can get other stuff in the Thrustmaster and Logitech ecosystems. Logitech is interesting because I would say at the lower end, it doesn't compete with this, but then you have the Logitech Pro at the higher end. I have lots of reviews on the Logitech Pro separately, so I'm deciding to concentrate on here because these all compete at this sort of level here. So which of these is the best? And yeah, really privileged here to actually have all 3 of these. I should say that out of these 3, the Moza one was provided to me for free. So it's very important you know that, but I've used these wheels quite a bit because I've used essentially the same Moza wheel, the ES wheel on PC before, and you can see that it's basically exactly the same, except the material is slightly different. I would say this material is actually a little bit nicer than the Xbox one, so maybe they needed to keep the materials down or something to hit that $399 price point. But what are the big differences? What I'm going to do as I'm playing sort of wheel roulette here, I'm going to pause that so we don't lose a finger, and I'm going to take it off the quick release. So the quick release is a really important point of a wheel, even if you're not going to be swapping and changing the wheel a lot, because it's where you can get a lot of flex between your wheel and the wheelbase. And the Fanatec quick release system we have here, to me, feels like an old generation. This feels like PS4 level connectivity because it's not really a quick release. It's certainly not like the Moza one. It's not like Logitech either. You have to screw this piece of plastic, and it's sort of plastic over metal and a rubber band, and you can actually get quite a bit of flex in the wheel. So if you're coming at an angle or doing something, fighting the force feedback, you can actually have flex here in the quick release. That is definitely worth bearing in mind. Also, just the fact it's plastic, I think says a lot. It's exactly the same, by the way, on the WRC rim you can see here. Now Moza is different. Every single Moza wheel that I've used quite a few. This is the Moza FSR rim, has a really nice quick release. So whether you're doing something really expensive like the FSR or entry level like the ES wheel, you get a nice quick release. And this one is automatic. Even for like a professional idiot like myself, I should be able to just do that and it snaps on, and that is now on the quick release and it's already connected for power and everything, which is absolutely insane. So the quality of the quick release, and that feeds through to just the general quality of the wheel. These are obviously relatively similar wheels in terms of shape and also buttons. Now I do believe that this Moza wheel may have more buttons than the Fanatec, but you can just confirm that yourself. The Fanatec does have a, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot, that's not a funky switch, is it? Is that a funky switch? No, it's not a funky switch, that's just a D-pad there. So that's essentially the same functionality. So maybe a couple more buttons on the Moza, but very similar. This is a wider circumference wheel. See, I put them side by side. This means this gives a little bit more of an arcadey feel. It's a little bit tighter, and that can be a little bit more fun as well. You feel like you're really sort of, you know, pulling the wheel, and it reminds me of going to the arcades. You know, playing like Daytona or Sega Rally or whatever it was. This is a wider wheel. You're going to be sort of gripping and ungripping it. It's also Alcantara, which if you wear Alcantara without gloves, the natural oils in your hand will break down the Alcantara. So you'll see pictures of Alcantara looking absolutely horrendous. So this is designed to be more durable, clearly. And that might explain why they've gone for what to me feels like a slightly cheaper finish than on the other Moza ES wheel. But I want to show you the McLaren, because the McLaren wheel is where things get a little bit interesting. Because the McLaren wheel is a GT shaped wheel. So you could have had a wheel where the wheel goes all the way out around the outside here, but instead they've cut off here. Now, you can do a mod. You can mod this wheel on PC and essentially take off these top bits and have a sort of GT style wheel, but I've never done it. This is naturally a GT style wheel, and I've used this in 24-hour races. You also get a lot more dials, although I don't believe that all of these are mappable on Xbox. Don't quote me on that. I don't think they will map on Xbox, but you obviously get a different form factor available. It does feel cheaper just on the front. This is really nice, sort of brushed aluminium or something. This is plastic, designed to look like carbon fiber. In fact, the whole thing of this is basically plastic. It's actually very light. Apart from these shifters here, the shifters will be very controversial because these are very loud. They're kind of boomy, and these are more clicky. So it depends what you prefer. I actually really like these shifters. A lot of people hate them, but I love these shifters. So this is a bit more of a toss-up between the McLaren and the... I hope you're enjoying this, by the way, just to get to see these wheels up and close and compare them if you're in the market to buy one, and feel free to leave your questions in the comments. But remember, you're gonna be buying into an ecosystem. You can't buy the Moza R3 wheelbase and then put the McLaren rim on it. That would be amazing, that would be great for consumers, but you can't do it, so you have to choose. Now Moza have said they are going to be bringing out more wheelbases, more Xbox compatible wheelbases, rims I should say, but we haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them yet. So at the moment, if you really want to drive GT cars, Fanatec. If you want to just have fun and be in the cheapest ecosystem, I would say Moza. And the Moza one to me feels like it's better quality just inherently, so it might last a little bit longer as well. So very, very interesting to see this competition in the Xbox space. It's great news for Xbox gamers. If you're looking forward to Forza Motorsport, or you're going to be playing stuff like the Crew Motorfest on Xbox, then you can be having a lot of fun. Previously it's felt like PlayStation's had all the fun, but now maybe it's coming back to the green brand. Something else that I just want to mention is the way that these wheelbases, sort of the settings change. So in the Fanatec, you do it all through the Fanatec sort of display. This is actually a little display here, a tiny LED display. You press this sort of hidden button and you can cycle through menus and you can change the wheel rotation, all that kind of stuff. On the Moza one, you do it through an app. So I'm not aware that you can change the wheel rotation by using some hotkeys like you can with Thrustmaster. Now on the app, that does give you a lot more options. There's a lot more settings. You can do kind of really funky stuff. You can change even like, I think how that rev band works, for example. Anything you can think of, they've done in the app because it's in an app, but you do need to have the app for it. So bear in mind, that's going to be really down to your personal preference. Like, do you want to be able to do things on the fly, but do them a lot simpler? Or would you rather have a lot more customization, but you need to have your phone by you to do it on the app? You don't need to connect to a PC for both of them. And I think the Moza one on the app might be able to update the firmware, whereas on the Fanatec one, you might only be able to update the firmware by connecting it physically to a PC. So worth bearing in mind. But yeah, a little bit of a difference here between the wheelbases. But I really hope you found that helpful. Do let me know any questions you got in the comments. There are some links in the description of this video if you want to check out the stores for some of these products. But it's basically great news for Xbox gamers, especially if you're looking forward to Forza Motorsport, or you're going to be playing Crew Motorfest on Xbox. It seems like recently PlayStation's had all the fun, but now it's coming back a little bit to the green brand, which is awesome to see. So look at this lineup here of great Xbox wheels, so you can go racing on Xbox. I love to see it. And yeah, I will see you next time.